and welcome to another unboxing. Today we're going to be looking at another Habawa RC. This is another one from their Hyper lineup, and it is the Hyper SS Truggy. Now this one is available in the Nitro version as well as an electric version. It's available in this cage format that you see here, as well as your traditional Truggy setup, and I believe that they're also available as a roller. Which is pretty cool because, I mean, if you don't want to run ready-to-run electrics, you want to put your own thing in there. I do believe that they stock these as rollers as well, so you can just paint up the body the way you want, put your own electrics in it, and away you go. So very cool that they're able to do that. Now this car comes to me with a little bit of a reputation, and a good reputation at that, because my friend Chris, who perhaps you may have seen in some RC Race Wars videos that I've done in the past, he's actually got this exact Truggy, but he bought it when Tower Hobbies used to stock these from their Offner range, and he bought the roller version, and he's running a castle system in it, and I've seen that car run, and I've driven it myself as well, and I've been very keen to get my hands on my own because, well, it's been a really good, solid performer. So, without further ado, let's get rid of the box, because we don't need that here. Here's our remote. And here are some goodies. Now the remote, of course, I've spoken about this one, well, this is I think the 4th time I'm mentioning this remote. The only thing I don't like about it is that it runs on 8 AA's. Aside from that, it's a pretty decent unit, not too bad at all. Now in the bags goodie, they also give you, let me see here, they give you a little cable for you to run the provided program card, because one cool thing that I'm noticing with all of these Habawa RCs is that they all come with these program cards. So I've got a couple of them now. Very cool to see that. So they'll give you the cable to run that. There's also a little bit of a tools bag, so you've got some Allen keys here. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus in on this. If it would be great. There we go. So you've got some Allen keys there. There's a little bit wrench in there as well. We'll pop that guy aside. And then there's some body clips and a couple of plastic pieces. So I'm not entirely sure. I think these might be for the servo, perhaps. I'm not sure what these are for. They could be for the hinge pins even. So they provide those and an empty bag. Now the spoiler on the car does not come pre-mounted. You will need to actually mount that up yourself. As you can see, I've already put mine on. It's pretty straightforward. You don't have to drill any holes or anything. Just screw it on and away you go. User manual, just like the other Habawa RCs that I've had in the past, pretty comprehensive. In here there is an antenna tube, which you're not going to need all of it. There is an instruction manual for your remote. There's also some remnants of sticker sheets, so you can actually put some extra stickers on the car. As you can see, it only has the window stickers on there at the moment, so you can put some extra stickers if you want. Instruction manual for your ESC, and there's a little warning there as well in regards to the servo that they're using. Really good user manuals that Habawa are providing with their RCs currently, so very comprehensive, a lot of good information in here, and of course it has all the part numbers, which is very important in case you need to obviously order some parts. Now for the Truggy itself, let's bring this guy up close to the camera, and hopefully I'll switch over to this side. Hopefully the camera will focus in on this really nice for us. There we go. So you'll be able to see it's got a nifty little front bumper there, although it doesn't look like much, but believe me, I've seen a head-on collision with my friend Chris's car, and this survived whilst the other car didn't do so well. So a really nice slick body. I don't mind the body design at all, and the color scheme is very nice as well. So I'm pretty impressed with the entire layout. Now you'll see these little fins kind of sticking out here. These are kind of like your mud guards for where normally you'd put them on the rear A-arms. They've actually got them sticking out of the side of the body itself. Well, they're attached to the chassis, and yeah, well, it's a nifty little idea to kind of keep mud out of the rear shocks. So on the back here you can see sway bars already pre-installed, aluminium shock towers, aluminium shocks with threaded bodies as well. Sway bars are front and rear, and I'll quickly take the body off and I'll show you the inside of it, because there is a little surprise in here that I was not expecting with this particular Truggy. Well, it's running the same motor that is on the Hyper MT that you see back there, so it's a 2000 kV motor, and it's the same motor that's in the VT, which is the road car that I unboxed recently. Now, I remember when Tower used to have these under the Offner brand, and they were selling them in their ready-to-run version. They had them with 100 amp ESC, so they were limited to 4S only. So you can imagine my surprise when I got this, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be 4S only, so I may need to swap out ESC if I want to, you know, really ramp up the speed. But to my surprise, it actually comes with 150 amp ESC. So this is a straight-out competitor to your Arm-Italian or even the Kraton as well. Any sort of ready-to-run truggy that can sort of run 6S is pretty damn cool, if you ask me. Now, it does have CNC machined shock towers, just like the road car did. Also, it came with CNC machined front and rear shock towers. It has aluminium hinge pin braces front and rear of the front and rear A-arms. The hinge pins themselves are actually really nice and thick, and as you can see from the A-arms just here, real nice beefy A-arms. If I can get my camera to focus in on this, there we go. So you'll see real nice beefy A-arms. Has a little bit of a rear bumper back here. Looks to have a pretty sturdy wing mount as well. My friend Chris has actually taken a few hits with his. He's done a few cartwheels and he's jumped it around pretty hard, and he hasn't really sustained any damage to his truggy. So very, very cool. Not a lot of aluminium through the center. The only thing it has really is just the aluminium motor mount, and it's actually a really cool motor mount because it uses a slider system, which makes it really easy to kind of adjust for different pinion changes. You know, it's just, you have two screws at the top here which actually come mounted with some washers, which is really nice to see. So you can see the two screws just there, and you undo those, slide the motor off, change your pinion, slide it back in. Nice and easy. Can't ask for any better than that. The servo, I believe it's the same servo that they're using on the road car. I can't remember if it's the same one that's on the monster truck. I can assume that it probably is. As I said, real nice beefy A-arms, CNC machine shock towers, good powerful brushless system, and you know, at least I know that it's a really good brushless system because it's got the same one on the MT, and that thing is not lacking in power in the least. So this does come with a 16-tooth pinion gear. The road car did come with an 18-tooth pinion gear, obviously to compensate for the smaller wheels. Speaking of which, the tyres on this actually don't feel too bad. They have a really nice fine pin design, similar to like a Proline Blockade, but they don't feel as soft. They do feel a little bit firmer. One thing that I will say though, that my friend Chris did have his tyres kind of rip off the rims, but I can't remember if he had to glue the tyres on himself or if they came pre-glued, because he got the roller version. So he did warn me that the tyres were going to come off, but now that I think about it, he may have glued them on himself, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Hopefully they won't come off with me. We'll see. I will be running the car both on 4S and 6S as always. Now, the suspension on this is amazing. It feels real nice and plush. If anything, probably feels like slightly undersprung and maybe even slightly underdampened. It just feels really soft. But nothing that perhaps, you know, winding down the collars of the shocks, you know, might just lift the car up a little bit. But it feels so nice. Like, it just feels like this car is designed to really handle well on a track. That's what it feels like. But that's not to say that, you know, you don't need to do a little bit of tuning to make sure you get it right. Receiver box just over here, and I don't believe, don't quote me on this, but I don't, maybe it is. The receiver box looks as though it's splash proof. I wouldn't go as far as maybe saying it's waterproof, but it's definitely splash proof. So you can go through the odd puddle here and there. It is running CVDs in the front and standard dog bones in the rear, which is not a problem at all. It's a pretty standard affair. Yeah, real beefy adjustment turnbuckles, both front and rear. The toe is actually adjustable just through the A-arm just here. So very interesting design. At least I think that's how it's adjustable. I think that's how it's done. Yeah, because it goes through, okay, it goes through the upper A-arm. So yeah, that's how you adjust it. What more can I say? I'm just really excited to have this car. I think that this is going to be a really good performer. Not a lot of slop in the wheels, probably a little bit too much in the front, but pretty acceptable in the rear. The A-arms are pretty locked in. It does have droop screws already pre-installed, which is pretty standard as well for something like this. And you do adjust the droop screws from underneath, which is a really cool thing to see. So the little screw nut is actually right underneath the chassis in the A-arm, where normally you'd sort of adjust it with an Allen key through the A-arm from the top. So really cool to see that. But yeah, 150 amp ESC, 2000 kV motor. What more can I say? Nice battery tray with 3 Velcro straps to hold your batteries in. Of course, it does come with Dean's connectors, but as always, I'll be swapping these out to XT150s because that's what I use. It does have somewhat adjustable front body posts. There's no kind of standoff here, like there's no support for the actual body itself. I'll see if I can zoom in on this, or focus in on it rather. So you can see the posts are kind of just sitting here. Once the body slides in, there's really nothing to support it. So maybe a body pin and a little washer might solve that problem, but just something to keep in mind that that's how they've done this one here. Aluminium shock caps as well. So really nicely done 1/8 scale truggy. 3mm aluminium chassis, which looks fantastic. And real nice beefy braces, both front and rear, that go onto the main chassis itself. Steel gears, of course, 3 tunable diffs. I think that these are oil-filled diffs. Don't quote me on it though, but I do believe they are. And it just looks amazing. I really like this truggy, especially knowing just how it's going to perform. Well, at least the way that it's going to handle anyway. As far as how this brushless system is going to perform in here, that remains to be seen. Now, let me see if I can put the body on, because these little the little wings on the side sometimes do get in the way a bit, but they do protect, you know, your drive shafts and your shocks from getting all sort of grass beads and mud and dirt kind of caught up in them. So everything is kind of deflected off those little plastic pieces there. Very, very cool looking truggy, and I cannot wait to run it. I'm hoping that I can run it this weekend. The weather looks very, very promising, and hopefully I'll have some running videos out very soon. So that is the Haobao Hyper SS Truggy, ready to run with a programmer a program card for your ESC. You know, a radio, which unfortunately runs on 8AA's. That's the only gripe that I have about this particular range of cars. Haobao really need to update these remotes, because the standard nowadays is 4 AA's on a remote, not 8. But aside from that, I think, you know, from what I've seen from driving this car, excellent performer, and I think once you guys see it on camera, you might agree with me as well. That's it for this unboxing. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer back to some of you out there. I don't have time to kind of answer every comment, but rest assured I do read every single one of them, and I do appreciate any feedback that I get. Be sure to give the video a like before you go. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and check out my Facebook page as well. You know, leave a comment on that. I tend to be a little bit more reachable through that forum as opposed to YouTube. So don't be shy, you know, get in contact with me in one way or another. That's it from me. Thank you again for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.